I'm going to hand the microphone over to Gene. It may be the last time I see it, but over to you.
Wow, thank you, folks. This is because of you guys and you folks turning out to be a far more special night than I ever envisioned when you came to me with an idea some 7 or 8 years ago. You know, a lot of people tried to sell me gold mines in the middle of the ocean over my years, and so this guy comes, read my book, and tried to tell me he was going to do a movie. I said, okay, thank you. And we went on our way. Never did I believe it would come to this. I need to say just a couple things. You said it better than I ever have. The movie was not about me. It was about that young kid with a dream, born in Chicago, of just normal, regular parents, immigrant grandparents who had a dream about flying airplanes off of aircraft carriers, and only in America, and I'll furnish to you guys, only in America, where exceptionalism reigns, can that young kid live to call him his home. That's what the movie is about. A young kid with a dream. Can I have 1 minute to introduce the real stars of the movie?
I think you do have a minute, whatever you want, sir.
Some faces in there in that movie that are here tonight. Most of whom, well, they're all my family. First of all, my wife Jan is somewhere in there. In that front row. Please, Jan, stand up. I've got 2 of my 3 daughters here. Tracy. And Danielle is there somewhere. And I've got 5 of my 9 grandkids there, starting with Ashley. For those of you from Austin, she's an Aggie, so. Her twin sisters, Katie and Whitney. Katie, Whitney, and I've got Jordan and his sister Caroline, who live with their mother in Fort Worth. 2 other people out there. One is a woman who's lived with me. She informed, at least say lived, quote unquote, endured me, she informed me, for 39 years. A very special person in my life. My assistant, I guess, but Claire Johnson is out there somewhere. It would be a terrible mistake if I didn't introduce Baldy. Fellow naval aviator, my best friend in the world. We lived together, we flew together. I went to space and he went to Vietnam to make it possible for me to go to space. You saw him riding a horse? God bless it, he's a lot better aviator than he is a cowboy. No matter how he's dressed tonight. Baldy, I love you, babe. Stand up. And last but certainly not least is the woman who gave me my start way back when we got married, and the mother of Tracy is my former wife, Barbara Cernan Butler. Since I never stayed home during those trips to the moon, she can better understand and know what it's like when she said, if you think going to the moon is hard, you ought to try staying home. Very words I've never forgotten since I heard them. Thank you. Thank all of you. You made it possible.
What was it like working with these guys? Did they put you through your paces? Did they say, okay, we need you to go out in the
guys,
horse?
they were incredible. You know, this is new to me. I wrote a book because someone encouraged me one day a long time ago. He said, you got to put those words that you're telling people about what's it feel like, what's it look like. Encouraged me to write a book. The book was me taking you with me everywhere I've been. I took you on my out when I walked in outer space. If you read the book, I think you'll know what it's like to be flogged about there. I think you'll know what it's like to sit on God's front porch looking back home. The movie is so different. As I say, I've never been involved in anything like this before. And these guys, you talk about real, if it takes a pro to go to the moon, it takes a pro to do what these gentlemen and the team of people they had to do. And we would, you know, we'd be out there and I had my hand in my pocket jingling my pennies, and these young Christians, the sound man would say, uh-oh, cut it out, take your hand out of our pocket, I can hear those coins, you know. And we had, it was fun. It was about 2.5 years of a lot of hard work and a lot of fun, and I had no idea what the output would be. I had no idea what they really had in mind. I'm so proud. I'm so proud to have worked with these gentlemen. And so proud to be standing here tonight.
Now you tell us, what was it like to work with Gene as a subject?
Sorry, so what was it?
What was it like to work with Gene?
Oh, working with Gene, well, I'll say quickly that it's been a great pleasure. And I said earlier, Gene, his family, and everybody around him, and all the people in NASA were unbelievable. They opened doors for us, they made things happen. Claire Johnson, who was mentioned earlier, who was a member of our team, she should be standing up here with us today, because it wasn't without her, an awful lot of this couldn't happen. So Claire, thank you.
What was it like working with Gene? Well, I mean, we would get him up pretty early in the morning and we wouldn't disappear until the sun had been down quite some time. So I know there were a couple of days he kind of, you know, we outstayed our welcome, but the thing there's such a strong work ethic which goes back to 50 years ago. And when this country was going to the moon, and everybody seemed to just get behind that colossal effort and just didn't want anything to fail because of them. And there was something even about making this film that everybody in the crew just got inspired by that same ethic, because that's the way he drives it. You know, he just inspires us to go that extra mile, because as he often says, good is not good enough, okay? And when that kind of pressure is put on you, everybody raised their game, and nobody wanted to be the one that dropped the ball. So that's kind of what it was like to work with Gene on one level. On the other, I mean, to this day, as I look at the film Play Before My Eyes, which I'm very familiar with, I'm just amazed at how much you and your lovely family and friends just opened up to a bunch of strange guys from across the pond, you know, to make this film about an American hero, a real American hero. And, you know, it's incredible to be here talking with you.
Can we take some questions from the audience? You've been waiting patiently.
I have a question for the filmmakers and another one for Gene. The filmmakers, it seems to me you had unprecedented access to the film footage from not just NASA, but also the Navy. You don't often see film footage of planes crashing off of aircraft carriers. So I'm wondering how you were able to get so much incredible footage. And for Gene, I'm wondering, did the producers of Dancing with the Stars ever contact you? I think you could have at least done better than Buzz Aldrin.
I'll answer the serious part of that question, which is the archive. We did actually have an incredible archive researcher by the name of Stephen Slater, who found some real gems, certainly from the National Archives and the NASA library. And that wasn't without its problems at one point, because the whole thing shut down for a little while, and we didn't know whether we were going to get a lot of the stuff that we needed. All the US Navy stuff is in the museum in San Diego, as well as the National Archive, in case you need any more footage of planes crashing. But of course, what I personally love is the kind of human side. The home movie footage was a real joy for me to discover in a box in your garage. And I found it, and I just couldn't wait to look at it. And of course, there's some really magic moments, you know. So that's really the story of the archive. And we use a lot of stills as well. I should pass over to Gene, really.
Dancing.
You could answer the question. You know, those boxes, you uncovered things I didn't know I had in the garage. It was incredible. Dancing with this, only Buzz Aldrin would dance with this. And I probably ought to leave it at that. I would not be very good at it. You would not come to see me dance with the stars. There's something else I got left in my life besides that. Thank you, Bill, for asking.
Good question over here.
Yes, sir. Hi, my name's Aaron. I grew up in Clear Lake and around a lot of astronauts and astronauts' kids, and just wanted to say that really appreciated your work, and it's a joy to watch this in your presence and everything. And I have 3 questions. 1, where's your beautiful ranch? That was gorgeous. 2, did you manage to bring home a rock for Tracy or moonbeams? And 3, did you ever see anything in your experiences that was unexplained, maybe of extraterrestrial origin, that type of phenomenon?
I know what you're at. Let me go backwards. Have you ever seen an alien?
Not an alien, just a...
Well, okay. Anything we couldn't explain.
Yeah.
Focusing on maybe what you're thinking life in outer space. I guess is what you're asking in a way. I mean, we come across many things we didn't anticipate and couldn't understand. But if you're talking about something like other life, I think I probably, as much as anybody, had an ample chance to see some strange form of life if it was out there. Having gone to the moon twice, only 3 guys have gone to the moon twice and flown in Gemini. No, the answer to the question, I've never seen that. And you've heard a lot of rumors. A lot of people like to speculate. I have personally never seen anything, and don't really know of any of my colleagues that have ever seen anything that we could not explain. Pieces of the booster flying out there. Sunlight plays all kinds of tricks on you. Let me get back to what was the second question? No rocks. No, I'd be in Leavenworth, Kansas if I brought a rock back. None of us have a rock. The closest we came, and I had rocks we packed a lot of rocks outside the spacecraft in a vacuum, the space, locked them in a box, sealed them, and brought them home, untouched by human hands, because we had gloves and everything, living in a vacuum and what have you. But we did take a lot inside the spacecraft, and we handled them. And the lunar dust was so penetrating, it got under, not just dirtied your fingernails, got under, way down, and it took 6 weeks for the lunar dust. I was carrying lunar dust around. People would have chopped my fingers off if they had a chance just to. But no, the closest thing we came is we were all given a piece of a rock from Apollo 17. Is a ceremonious thing of being one of the first explorers in space. with some sayings and other things, and encapsulate it under the condition that we give it to, quote, a museum of our choice. Mine happens to rest in the National Museum of Naval Aviation in Pensacola, and my ranch is in Kerrville, south of Kerrville. And those of you from Texas know where that is. Those of you who are not from Texas, it's about an hour northwest of San Antonio, north of a little town called Bandera, and you guys, Baldy and your friends from Colorado, it's the cowboy capital of the world, Bandera, Texas.
Thank you.
I love it. I love it. You saw what you saw, and you know, the biggest joy I have now is taking my grandkids there and fishing and hunting and riding and doing whatever else an 80 year, soon to be 81-year-old grandfather can do with his kids.
Okay, we have one last question. Please be brief. Thank you.
So I know with documentaries, you said you spent like 2.5 years filming. Obviously, you get a lot of footage with that, and so I was wondering, during the process of editing the movie and condensing it all into like a story that's obviously not 2.5 years long, because we would still be watching the movie.
It was.
How much?
It was longer than that to start with.
Yeah, but I was just wondering, like, did that change with what your vision of the story was going to be throughout production at all? Or how did you look at it from the outset?
I mean, it was a journey. I mean, and certainly before we went to do any filming at all, I had the advantage, unlike some documentaries, of knowing the story because it had already happened for the most part. But I very much wanted a spontaneous observational ingredient to that, so that we got an understanding of Gene's life today, and just sort of weave it in thematically. And you know, we had such incredible access that he generously gave us, and we went to Pensacola, we went to Arlington, we went all over the place, and the first cut of the film actually ended up being over 3 hours long, and you know, try getting a significant audience to go and see a documentary at a movie theater that's 3 hours long. You know, we had to lose some time, and I'm hoping that all that extra material will end up somewhere that we can enjoy it. But I think really it shrank and it shrank and it shrank, and man, you know, the three of us had fantastic battles over what should be in, what should be out. And maybe each of them can have a comment about that, but certainly what's in there at the moment, I'm very happy with the film that's there. I should really pass the microphone to Gareth, who hasn't said anything yet, and maybe he would like to add to the process of filmmaking and editing.
It was very difficult to get it down to, was it 95 minutes now? You know, it's a tough thing. You get very close to the film, you get scenes that you love, and then ultimately you have to just look at everything and say, you know, what's it doing? Is it doing the job it needs to for the film? And when you start looking at it like that, I think it starts to become a lot easier to make those decisions. It was quite a long process getting it down, but you know, in the end, I think we're pretty happy with the cut we've got. So, yeah.
Well, it's an amazing achievement. Yes, please, go ahead.
I want to publicly thank you three and your team. You brought something to my life that I never envisioned. If I was ever to have had something to leave to those grandkids out there, if I ever have a legacy for them and their kids and their grandkids someday in the future, this is it. Thank you.
Thank you very much for coming. Congratulations, all of you. Please remember